Welcome, fellow members of the Esoteric Order of Gamers. If you have been with us through the last 5 videos about Deadzone, you've gone right from the basics. You've opened your box, you've unpacked the plastic, stuck it together, painted it. Oh my god, it's been a lot of work. But you now have a fully painted set of Deadzone miniatures and buildings. And it may look something just like this. We're going to take you through a game of Deadzone. We've played Deadzone once, so this is our second game. We have a vague idea what we're doing now. And my gaming partner Will,
hello,
and myself, Peter, also known as Universal Head, will take you quickly through the process of playing the game. So, first thing we do is set up. Now, in setup, what you do is you choose a strike team. So in this case, one of us is the Enforcers, the other one is the Plague. Yeah. So you choose a strike team, you have 70 points to spend, and you use these unit cards, and each of them is worth various number of points, and you choose a team. Once you've chosen a team, shuffle your battle cards. You have a deck of battle cards. These give you extra abilities and stuff during the game. And you draw 20. You get a hand of 20 cards, well, a deck of 20 cards I should say, so that changes from game to game. And then you draw 4 as your starting hand. Then one player draws a random mission card from their hand, from the deck of mission cards, and they will see on the card deployment zones in the bottom right hand corner, and this shows us where the two sides of the game set up. Then we shuffle the crate counters. Now in the game you get counters, but I bought the little crate miniatures, and these open up to show the crate inside, the particular thing that you can pick up. Then you place them on the board according to the mission setup and stuff. So when setting up, you look at the mission card you drew and this little icon in the bottom right. So this shows us that we'll be setting up in opposite corners. We then look at the rulebook and we can see this diagram for opposite corners. One of us will be there, one of us will be there. In this central area, we'll be putting 4 of the equipment crates. Then we'll roll to place another 4 equipment crates randomly throughout the area. And then finally we'll put the 3 objective counters on these 3 spots marked with X. And then we're all set up and ready to rock. And there we go, we've set up an objective counter there, an objective counter there, and one over there. They're the X positions on the map. So Will is now setting up his plague figures in the corner as shown on that card. And then I'll be setting up over here. Here are the Enforcer figures. And of course you'll be rooting for the Enforcers because I'm playing the Enforcers, won't you? So I have one Peacekeeper Captain, one Normal Enforcer, one Assault Enforcer, he's a close combat guy, the guy with a missile launcher, he's good to get up high and shoot at things, and this guy is an Enforcer with a burst laser who's very good at suppression. I have a hand of mission cards here. I'm keeping these open because he can't see them, but usually you keep these in your hand. And each one of these has 2 choices. During the game you can use one of these choices to enhance your actions. The other tricky thing is that you each have a battle card deck, and as you use your battle cards, it's actually a timer for the game. When you run out of cards, the game ends. Leaders, tacticians and strategists add to your command point total, and you can use your command points during the game to take command actions, which are very handy indeed. Your objective card is usually kept secret during the game, but we're playing these open so we can show you. Mine is the Zulu card, and you can see that I get 1 victory point for killing a specialist and or a leader, and I also get 2 points for capturing the X objective, which are those octagonal objective counters, and I get 5 points for controlling the Z objective. Capturing means I have to be the only person in the square, control means I have to be the only person in the square and adjacent squares. Whereas the Plague player has Careful Carnage, which is basically killing things. Survive means half of his force survives during a turn. He gets a point. So he gets points even for just not being killed.
Yes, and the beautiful thing is that he doesn't know which one is Z, X or Y.
Yes.
He's hoping that Z is either this one or maybe this one.
So, Will, are you ready?
I am.
Looks like the Plague forces are skulking over there in that corner, all bunched together, ready to be nasty.
Yes, and I have a plan. Not sure it's necessarily a brilliant plan, but it's a plan nevertheless.
Excellent. Of course, no plan survives contact with the enemy, and in this case the enemy is
the Enforcer band, and here they are. And as you can see, the shadows have lengthened over 17N/A6 prime, which is the name of this little backwater world where the Enforcers are meeting the Plague in pitch battle. That name again, 17N/A6 prime. Remember it well. A figure can take up to 2 short actions or 1 long action. In this case, his figures are fast, so they can take a sprint as a short action. Great, so I'm going to, having sprinted in there, I'm going to shoot at you, and you're standing wide open in the open, and you're within range of 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got a range of 6, so... One of the great things about Deadzone is that you're pretty much considered in cover all the time. The shooter gets a bonus if they can get a clear shot to a model. In other words, if they're completely in the open, like I've stupidly placed these figures here. Let's see that. Oh dear. Here it comes. I'm shooting. It's a 3-dice shoot test. It's basic. There are a bunch of things that modify this. One of them is it's a clear shot because I have a clear unobstructed view of the whole target model. So that's 5 dice. I don't have any of these other modifiers. No. So here we go. Now, you have to roll your opposition dice. I do, and my opposition is a 3-dice survive test. So I roll 3 dice, and I look at my card. He's firing from my captain. Go, and I can see my survive test is 3+, so I roll 3 dice, and I get an 8, 4, and a 1. So I survived 2 hits. How many hits did you get? I got 2. You got 2. I needed a 6+ to hit. No damage was done. So Will, who is acting first, looks at the command total of his commander, which is 6. So he can activate 6 models before he has to pass activation over to me. Unfortunately, I have 7. I've done 1, as we saw, so I'll now do another. This bloke's going to sprint 1, 2.
It's rather terrifying because the Plague are sprinting into cover. It's like the screaming Plague carrying creatures pouring onto the board, pouring into the ruins of 17N/A6 prime.
And he's going to go into...
What will our intrepid enforcers do to counter this horrific threat?
Now, one thing I should point out, when firing happens, or indeed in any test happen, and there's a modifier, that's a modifier to the number of dice, not to the scores on the dice. So if you have a 3-dice survive test and you have a +1 for cover, you roll 4 dice. So our captain there has survived 2 attempts at firing from the scummy Plague. And the Plague's now finished its turn. As you can see, I've moved 6 models. 6 of my 7, I can only move 6 because I've only got enough command points to move 6. So this fellow hasn't been able to move. It's time for the Enforcer to fight back. Right, the Enforcer team has had their first turn. We've had a couple run up here. They're heading for those objectives. We've had a guy with a missile launcher get on the roof. Notice he put an activation counter next to a model that's activated. This fellow here has run out, the guy with the burst laser. He's behind that wall. And we have another straight Enforcer. Actually, he's the Assault Enforcer running over here, heading for that objective. And it looks like he's about to say hello to him. Yes, the action continues on 17N/A6 prime. When everyone has been marked as activated, if you have not used at least 1 battle card this round, you've got to discard 1. Then you can take cards from your draw deck equal to the first number in your commander's command value and choose a number to keep equal to the second number. Yeah, so I've got to discard 1 because I forgot to play 1. I forgot to play 1 too, but that's fine. There'll be plenty of opportunities and it will slow down the game because the more we use, the faster the time will tick away. So we're going to probably discard 1 and draw some more. And once we've done that, we remove the activation markers and head on to turn 2. So he's going to do a command action, which is a long action, takes up his whole turn, but he's going to roll. He needs to get a 6+ with 2 dice because he's got a command of 2. And he got a 6 and an 8, so that is a double success. So now I can make a friendly model within 4 cubes take an immediate free short action, even if it's already been activated. I can mark an unactivated or overwatching enemy model within 8 cubes as activated. Or I can add a card from my discard pile from the draw deck and reshuffle the deck. Well, I'm going to use the first one. I'm going to make a single model within 4 cubes take an immediate free short action. And what has he done with that command action? He's moved his largest and nastiest model forward. This wee beastie here, as it goes trudging forward towards the enforcer lines.
Now that's particularly useful because this is a slow creature, so it can never sprint and it can only move 1 hex per turn.
But what's this? Oh my goodness, it's someone with a burst laser.
You think that will penetrate the impenetrable armour of my playing stage 1A? Ha!
It's time to use some suppression tactics. Right, so my 2 figures up here have different uses. This guy up here has a missile launcher and he can only do single shots against creatures. He can't suppress. This guy down here has a burst laser and he's designed to suppress units. He can't do single shots. So this fellow here is about to shoot his burst laser to suppress the plague units over there, whereas this fellow here is going to use his missile launcher and have a go at the big dude. So the enforcer with the burst laser has just suppressed this cube over here. I rolled 3 hits, he rolled 1 survive success, so I got a double result, and the double result means that he suffers -2 aggression, which means he goes from alert down to pinned down to suppressed, so he won't be doing much of anything next turn, which is excellent. So the enforcer with the burst laser went with the missile launcher went and hit him and did 2 hits, but he is really tough in inverted commas, which means that he ignores 2 potential damage. He just ignored that damage, he shrugged it off. I'm in trouble. Sometimes in the rush of battle you can forget about battle cards, and my commander rushed into this square, opened up the crate and found himself an ammo item. Unfortunately, my opponent played a booby trap card. So it's the same as a frag grenade going off.
In his face.
Oh dear. So the booby trap went off and my poor commander got thrown into an adjacent square.
And pinned.
The guy in the adjacent square here didn't get damaged. My enforcer has run on into this objective square and taken the objective. He gets 2 points for winning that objective. These don't come with the game. There are some extra counters I had. He's now activated, and that is the turn end for the enforcers.
And now he's going to die.
No!
This plague creature, as my first action, has gone sprint into here, and that's normally a long action, so you'd think his turn would end, but because he's entered a cube with an enemy in it, he automatically gets a free fight as part of that action. And I'm going to play a fight card. He's also got acid breath. It's going to hurt.
So this is the first fight of the game. 2 miniatures in the same space and fighting. Now this is the same as a shoot test, except the person attacking rolls a fight test.
Yes, and I'm getting +1 because I'm brawler, and I'm also getting +1 because I moved into the square cube this turn.
There we
5
go.
dice on
5
the tap.
dice. And what do you need
Plus,
to hit?
I'm playing fight, so I get 6.
Oh no! What do you need to hit?
I
Your
need
fight score is?
4+.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh my gosh.
Brutal. Oh dear,
Oh.
that's 5 hits.
Oh, 5 hits!
5
What will I
hits.
do? Well, I have 2 choices in a fight. I can choose to try to survive, or I can fight back.
Don't forget your cards.
And I've got my cards, of course. Never forget your cards. So I'm an assault enforcer. I'm designed to brawl. So I'm going to fight back. And what I would do is normally roll 3 dice. Let's grab those dice over there. And I must have a fight card here somewhere. There it is, +1 fight. We'll roll that. That gives me an extra dice. And we're fighting, so what else do I get? +1 any friends in the same cube? No, I don't. -1 if pinned, -2 if suppressed. None of that handled. So I only have 4 dice. That's not that great.
No, I did 5 hits.
You did 5 hits, and my fight score is 5+. Oh, 3 hits, that's pretty good. He won, which means that the difference in the number of successes is the potential damage.
So that's potential
he
damage
just
of
did 2 potential damage. Now, unfortunately, I subtract my armor from that, and my armor is 2, so I am actually undamaged.
And that, as I've said before...
However, you were using
acid breath. So
acid
I have
breath.
armor piercing of 2. So
Oh,
the
dear.
armor is eliminated.
Oh.
So you do 2 damage to you.
2 damage, which means...
He's dead!
Ah!
I finally killed one.
Ah! He just killed my enforcer. Oh, don't ravage him as well.